Hey there and welcome back. So today I was asked a lot earlier in the year, but as you can see with building a layout, we are in a position to do this video and to do it a bit better for you. I was asked about expanding your layout. Now when you get your starter set, if I just pan the camera around here, as you can see we have the starter set what came with the Mallard, which is the one that we are working with. There are a couple of ways, a couple of things that you can do to kind of see, you know, how you can expand a little bit. But what we've done, just to recap so far from the last video, is that we took one of the extra straight sections, what we had to go with the points, and we simply separated the track on that side and on this side. And if you look here just over to the back bit, then we popped that in along the back over there so we could see how much extra possibly straight distance we can get on this track. Now as you can see, if we were to take away that old piece of track, and I will just come down to this front little bit here, I just move this camera, that is where roughly, because we would have a power track in as well, that is how the layout would initially look. And you can see on the back the difference with that straight. And although this doesn't look like a great deal, it can give you a lot more things, a lot more options to do with your layout, especially if you want to build points or stations in a little town. If you can get that little bit extra gap and you're not too fussed about, if I just do this, about anything on the side around here, about anything around your edges, then that is absolutely fantastic, because the more you've got in the center, the more you've got to work with. So if we go back to the starter set what we had, so I'll just bring this in. So as you can see, that is what we get with the set. This is what we've got with what's down on the board so far. Now extending your layout. So apart from the obvious, an extra straight, as you can see with the track amount, the second obvious one is another track. Now if you're brand new to this, you may be thinking, well, how do I know what track I've got, what size it is? So let's quickly talk about sizes. You have 4 radius of curves, so in theory that would enable you to have 1, 2, 3, 4 tracks if you did wish to. There's nothing stopping you from having 4 tracks. You could have 50 tracks if you've got the room. But quite typically the easiest and simplest way so you can run a couple of locomotives at once is to have a second track. Now if we just go back to this box, if you look on your box, it will give you a description of what you have. Now if we flip around to the front, because this isn't one of the smaller layouts, you can see there we've got a standard set of track and we've got the starter oval. So if we then go to the back of this, if we see here, when I find it on the camera, there we go. See, you won't get this amazing camera work anywhere else. So as you can see here, the basic oval includes 8 third radius double curves. Now, third radius is the one that, like second radius, that any train should be able to move on. And that includes your little tiny small locomotives, say from your small little Ep4s, anything up to your really big stuff like your merchant navies, even the Garrett locomotives. Even if you go for a couple of HO scale locomotives and you want to pick up one of the big boy trains, which I believe is one of, if not the biggest and longest train that you can fit on 00 scale, even though it's a slightly different scale, but that's for another time, then third radius will run pretty much anything and everything you want to without any problems. Second radius gives you near enough the same. It is a little bit tighter. Some locomotives you may notice just slow down slightly on these curves, but again, second radius will pretty much run anything that you want to. So as we're looking at this track, this is the third radius. Now there is a part number that goes with everything on the railway, and this third radius is called R609, and this is a third radius double curve. The only reason why it says double is because if you look on the back here at this point, if I can get the camera to focus, the reason why it's double is because you can cut it there and you can make a half curve of your own, which is one of these. So that's the double. But if we go to your next radius down, it's called R607, which is your second radius. Now you have got first radius, which will only run the small locomotives. Anything bigger, even though with a couple of reviews that I've done we have shown that some will work, you do start to struggle, and you don't want to mess up like the big expensive locomotives by running them on track what's too tight. So to start off with extending the layout, if you have a standard layout like this with the third radius, then second radius, or you could even go fourth radius, which is bigger than third radius depending on your room. Second radius is a really good way to go because it just gives you that extra track on the inside. You don't have to worry about extra space expanding outwards for the fourth radius. And again, with the track map shows third radius and second radius, so it's super easy to expand in that way. So let's get into this a little bit. So we've got our 30 radius set, what we see here. We've taken a couple of bits off, like we've taken the set points out. Now if you've got two, sorry, I just dropped something in the background. If you have two tracks that you wish to put down, one thing that you would possibly like to do, just so you can move things between tracks if you've got, or you wish to have sidings in the middle of things like that, and a good way to do that is to join both the tracks together. Now to do this you need two of the same type of points. So this is, for example, the one that you get with the starter set, and here is another one that we have purchased. So let's just quickly change the camera angle and let's just get a little bit closer down to the track so I can show you how easy it is to just pop a second curve in there. Just bear with me 1 second. Right, so what we'll do, also we've got our second set of points. Now it's pointless having another set of points to join two tracks together if you don't actually have another track to join to. So what I've also got as well, now these cost me from my local shop about, I think it was £4.50 per piece. Now this is where it can get expensive. However, if you find second-hand track, which can be just as good as buying new track, however you wish to do it, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because I got a lot of second-hand track, a lot of straights. I got them for £5. The only thing that I need to do with them is to change the little fish plates on the end. Yeah, I know that was really blurry, I do apologise, but those little fish plates on the end, that's the only thing that I need to do after cleaning them up, and they'll be perfectly fine to use. It doesn't have to be everything brand new, especially if you are trying to do it on a little bit of a budget too. So for the purpose of the video, I did get new track. So as we can see, these are 4 double curves which will make up half radius. Well, you know, half of a curve, starting there, going round to there, like that. So let's pop these together. So let's do it nice and quick, nice and simple. Yeah, I wasn't looking what I was doing, and I did actually do that one off camera, so you know, fantastic. And again with that one, I'm really not doing well with this one, but you've seen me go on about joining track together, so you know what the deal is with that. So we have our second radius. Now, let me just change this camera angle ever so slightly. Right, so before we're getting our other track down, obviously I will just show you the noticeable difference. So here we can see this is where, or if I just pop you guys down like that, here we can see where our third radius finishes. So if we pop our second radius directly on top of that, and if you look away towards the back, you can see how much further it's in. Now obviously, because it's a tighter radius, this will fit perfectly directly in between the two. Now, one thing with this, as you're putting this down, this is what's good with the points, because you can do a measure if you wish, or you can actually get spaces what goes between to help. If you get your track and you don't lay it properly, say you've got it a bit like that, or you've kind of pushed it up a little bit, then what will happen as you get two trains, two coaches, whichever running next to each other, some you may get away with, but when you get long coaches where they kind of go over the track on the inside, you will find that they start to hit each other, they start to collide. So when you're setting this up, you always want to make sure that you've got the correct gap. Now, like I said, you can measure this. The points, what I'm going to show you to link the track together, they are an exceptionally good way to work out on how to get things right. And what you can do, you can use the points for multiple things, but we'll come to that in just a second. So let's just bring you back this way. In fact, let's just change this camera angle slightly again. Okay, so we have our two sets of points. Now when you get your starter set, obviously one like that is just for a siding, so it'll come off either, you know, that way, fantastic. Now what you will find is when you join these two together like so, now these both have to be right hand points. This is just for anybody new, you know, if you're going out to buy sets of points, because if you buy two, or should I say one of each type of point, and then you join it together like so, while a train will run perfectly fine on this bit, because these are kind of like a half, yeah, these are second radius, the way these curve out in the angle. As you can see there by that bit, yeah, you're not really going to do a lot with that unless you chop this off and go that way, and yeah, you can, there's going to be all sorts going on with that. So when you're joining them together, 2 points exactly the same. So let's just join those together like so. There we go, nice and easy. So what we'll do, I've left this piece on here because as you can see, when they're joined together, obviously this piece goes up and away from here, but we pop these down, and you know what, let's join them up for this video, for the video. So in there and in there like that. And as you can see, it is as simple as that to join two tracks together, switch both sets of points, train goes chuff chuff onto the other track, and then when they're straight, the trains will carry on the track that that you've got them selected to. You know what I mean. So as you can see, by joining these two sets of points together and by putting the straight on, if I just undo these, and yes, I know you can mess around with the wiggle of track and, you know, kind of make it not right, but as you can see there, you've got your gap to help to space these two tracks apart. So if we pop this back on here, now it's been a bit fiddly and that one's come off, thank you. As you can see, by doing that and making sure that those curves are perfectly aligned, you can see there how quickly that has given us the gap. Now what you can do with this, if you take this off, you could tack your track a couple of times just here and here just to keep them steady. You could then put this onto your rear section over there just to make it a little bit easier, a little bit simpler, and that would give you the exact gap what you need for the other side as well. And then obviously you can have your other pieces joined together ready, and then when you've got this done on the other side over there, it's simply a case of just tacking all your track around however you want to do it, and then there we go, fantastic. That is your second track ready to go by the time you complete it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to skip the video a bit. I'm going to pop the extra track on fully, and then we'll come back to you. Okay, so I'll see you in just a second. So as we can see, we have our second radius going round the back, and if you can spot there, see that slight coloration difference there, that's one of the second hand pieces of track that I was talking about. So that is going on the back. We come round, and yes, I haven't done this front bit because I'm going to show you what else I'm going to plan to go with this layout. Right, so what we're going to do next is, when we're having a little bit of a plan and a think, if you can see, we're able to put this little section up, this extra little piece. So like I said, I haven't joined these two together just as yet, and the reason being is this, is that to go on the layout, or with the layout, I have this. Now this was from the layout what I was taking down, and this is going to have a home on this layout. So I'll just use this just to show you. So if I pop this here, and there. Now if you remember me saying about having a way to get in and out of your layout, for me I'm going to have the stations over towards that back area. So we've got this, and then what I also did get, again from one of my local model shops, is that I was able to get myself a set, or a couple of sets of points. So we're going to start off with this set, and also we have this set. Now I have got actually quite an interesting set of points here. Let me just show you in these. Now these points here are designed to go on your curve the same way as these work. It can be either a siding coming on or off the curve, or it could be to simply join two tracks together. So what the plan is for this layout is this left hand set of points we are going to pop here. Now for people who model seriously, if you put a lot of points together like this, it can raise a few eyebrows. The reason being is you have on points what's called dead spots, and your dead spots are these here. In fact, let me show you on this. So if you look at this set of points, when the camera will willingly focus, there we go. See this bit of plastic here? This is called a dead spot. Obviously it's plastic, that's metal, you won't have any power going there. So yeah, it is a little bit of a pain, but that's why some people don't like a lot of points close together, because you can see there that you've got two zones, or areas if you will, where the power will drop off straight away. But if you're not fussed about that, go for it. It's your layout, remember. Build it exactly how you want to build it. Not how anybody else tells you, not how I tell you, how you want to build it. So just remember that at all times, because people can sometimes pop or give you way too much to think about. So just keep it nice, keep it simple. So we have one coming out to the left here, and then we have this set of points. Now with this set of points, I haven't fully planned this out by the way yet, so this little bit's new for me as well as it is for you seeing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join this set like that. Oh, that looks good. And then let me get, and you'll actually see it now, one of these second-hand pieces. Let me just choose one that's, because there are a couple that I haven't done yet. There we go. So as you can see, this is a older second-hand piece of track, and if the camera would focus, that would be absolutely wonderful. There we go. So you can see the difference in that track and this track. You may struggle on camera, I'm not sure, but this is like a silver and this is more like a gold in colour. And basically this is the old style track, this is the new style track, and with the colour difference, this track is better for conducting the electric round the track, and also this is less likely to get dirty. So by all means you can use and go for this older track. There is not a problem with it whatsoever, but just bear in mind at some point, if you choose to, you may wish to upgrade it. I'm going to have a mixture on this layout of old and new, so we're going to see how it goes, and honestly I don't see there being a problem on this whatsoever. So now we've had our little waffle on, so let's bring all this into shot. This is all the second-hand track that I was talking about. I got all this for £5. The only thing I've had to do with it is clean it up, and what I am going to do is change these fish plates because they do look a bit grubby, and anything and everything what helps to make the power go around the track better is good. So this bit of track here, so what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to have some sidings coming off here. We may have a little bit of a station or something at some point, and I will warn you, this will probably change by the next time you see this video. But anyway, let's start with this. So how was it now that I had this? Or I had it worked out in my head, should I say. Right, we've got it. So as you can see, that bit goes quite nicely that way. Let's get one of these little halves sort of cleaned up. I am going to change these at the minute, but again this is just showing you, giving you a couple of ideas and extending your layout. So there we go. Brilliant. So what I'm going to do from that is I'm going to pop one of these on like so, and I'm going to pop one of these on like so, and there we have a couple of nice, actually really nice, quite long sidings there, as you can see if I move that to one side. So fantastic. Now what I did do is I had a spare set, is I have these were from another starter set. So this is a good thing if you get more than one starter set as a gift, or you choose, as well as getting more track. However, you may end up with two lots of your third radius curve, then you do get a couple of extras. So at this point I'm going to pop in here. Like that. Brilliant. Now then, let me think. See, now obviously that can't go there, because that's going to be a bit too weird and a bit too wonderful. So what I am going to do, will this work how I want it to? Do you know what? I think that it will. So, oh, I forgot we've got this one. See, that won't go there, so that is out of the question. Now, oh, hang on a minute. Right, okay, I think we've got this. So, see, this is how my mind works, and trust me, it is highly likely that I will come back to this a little bit later and I will probably go, no, I'm not happy with it, I'm changing everything. But this, again, at this point in time now, you're just building with me. So let's see how this turns out. Let's see. We have quite a bit of a gap here. Let's just see. Let's go with it. Let's just see how it goes. In fact, hang on. The camera is going to shake a little bit, but let me see if I can adjust you guys up a touch. Ah, there we go. You can see everything a little bit better. So, I'm going to pop this piece just on here. Oh yeah, sorry about that. I was just making sure that the camera could see what I was doing. So we're going to pop this here. See, now I've been doing this for quite a while, and you can see I'm having trouble putting these together. So don't worry about it whatsoever. Now then, these kind of need to go like that, don't they? So what we'll do, let's just pop this in here. See how this looks. And yes, I'm going to knock everything. So, am I happy with that? To be honest, no, I'm not. Listen, you're along for the ride now, you know, tough. So, right, let's take all this apart. So this is the bit that I do like doing. This is where, you know, you kind of start building everything, putting everything together, and yeah, it does. This is the bit that I do like. So let's pop this on here like that. So as you can see, just in camera, we're coming out this way. Now let's try something different. Let's see, what does this look like? Ooh, now I'm liking that a little bit. And with this set of points here, see, now that would have been really good to have a set of points that would have gone like that. Right, you can sit there for a minute. I don't think. Now, where did I put? Am I going crazy, or am I just losing? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think it's a mixture of going crazy and losing the plot. I was just wondering where on earth that I put these. So, oh dear. Right. So let's take this off. Let's take this off, and we're gonna go straight with this. Right now. Okay. We are kind of liking how this is going. So we're going to pop a piece like this. We are going to try this curved section. And as you can see, hang on. Oh, let's just make sure. Now, make sure you've got them clipped in right there, because I've just got an extra little bit that I might be able to make this work. So let's just try that. Make sure that they are all lined up and straight. We might be able to get away with that, I think. So, if we bring... Yeah. Okay. I'm going to have a mess around and I'm going to come back to you. I'm sorry if this bit's bored you. I'm really, really sorry. But let's roll with it and let's have a little bit of... let's have a think off camera and I'll come back to you. Right, okay. So, yes, it has taken me a good half hour. But I remembered in my head how I wanted it to look and worked out how I am going to do it. So, with a couple of extra little bits of track what I had laying around, as you can see, we have got what's going to be 4 little sidings there. Now, I understand these aren't the longest sidings in the world, but I'm doing the best with what I've got, and I'm more than happy with it. If anything, I can pop, say, a couple of coaches in each one. You know, you've got to go and get them all, take them off to the station, and then, you know, it's a lot of messing around and good fun stuff we can do. And there's nothing that says that this or one of these can't be one nice long siding. So I think that's what we're going to do, how we're going to keep it. There may be a bit of like a repair shed going on over here, and if we go to the other track, yes, it's fallen apart, it's come off, I've kicked it, I've knocked it, I've slid it, I've thankfully not broken it. But as we can see here, there are the 2, ignore that bit, there are the 2 complete ready tracks all done. What I am going to do is I'm going to get a set of points to replace here, and then I'm going to have a siding coming off and going all the way around, so that's going to be one really, really long siding, so that'll be good. Idea, this is going to be like the workshop, goods yard, locomotive storagey type place, and we may have a think and may do a little mini station, no, just around there, possibly, not sure. Oh god, I'm thinking about all sorts of different things now. See, this is what happens. So anyways, as you can see, with the amount of shall we say messing around that I've done, and I've got all this other, that's what's left of the second hand track. Now I will say one thing that I will be doing with all this track, any of this track what I don't use, I am going to gift it back to the model shop where I got it from, because it wasn't expensive, it didn't cost me a lot, and I would rather it be donated free to somebody who is going to, you know, help them to build or extend a bit of a layout, especially, you know, if they are on a bit of a budget. For me, that is a great little thing to do. Oh, just before I forget to show, if you see this bit here, yes, that is a 3rd radius curve, and I tend to cut that little bit there just to make it go on exactly how I want it to. So, I know this video started off well, it went a bit higgledy-piggledy, it went all the way around the world, came back again. And don't forget, just there's nothing wrong with you popping sidings in the middle if you wish. And that's what I'm now thinking about. Oh dear, I should not be doing that. Uh-oh. Right, yeah, I think I'm going to end this video now before I absolutely go mad enough on one. So, I've no doubt the next time I show you a update or something, or the next part of this track build, you'll probably see this looking completely different again. I'm not going to lie to you. So, with that being said, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's giving you some ideas, some pointers of how to further your train set, how to expand it, with a small, because this isn't a large area, it's only the width of one of these boards, with just a little bit extra, how much more that you can put into a layout. Hopefully it's helped you, hopefully you've enjoyed it, hopefully you've had a laugh and a giggle at me trying to think of things. And with that being said, I can't believe it! Woo! We've got 500 subscribers, or just over. That is so incredible, and just in time for Christmas. Thank you so much to everybody who's subscribed, who's new, who's subscribed. That means so much. And the help from Shedmouth sharing the video. If I've got any subscribers come from them guys, thank you so much to them guys. And with that being said, thumbs up, like and subscribe, and as always, we shall see you in the next video.